42. 442. All together, here we go. I know not why God's wondrous grace to me he has made known, nor why unworthy Christ in love redeemed me for his own. But I know whom I am believing, and am persuaded that he is able to keep that which I've committed unto him against that day. I know not how this saving faith nor how believing in his word wrought peace within my heart. But I know whom I am believing, and am persuaded that he is able to keep that which I've committed unto him against that day. On the fourth verse, I know not when my Lord may come, at night or noonday fair, nor if I walk the vale with him, or meet him in the air. But I know whom I have believed, and am persuaded that he is able to keep that which I've committed unto him against that day. One page over to 443. 443. Here we go. A wonderful Savior in Jesus my Lord, a wonderful Savior to me. He is my soul in the cleft of the rock, where rivers of pleasure I see. Transported I rise to meet him in clouds of the sky. His perfect salvation, his wonderful love, I'll shout with a million on high. He hideth my soul in the cleft of the rock, that shadowed a dry, thirsty land. Now right underneath that, 444. 444. Let's stand as we sing it. Together. Children of the Heavenly Father, safely in his bosom Thank you. You may be seated. Pastor mentioned that this is significantly the Mother's Day that we celebrate. Of course, every day is Mother's Day. There's a job to do somewhere, someplace, sometime for somebody. I sang this song yesterday morning for the men's prayer breakfast, and it seemed to fit for them. They're responsible for their children. They're responsible for their home. But then I thought, that'd be a good song to sing for moms, because they also need to be encouraged to be strong in the Lord. So kind of a dedication to them. Be strong in the Lord and be of good courage. Your mighty defender is always the same. Mount up with wings as the eagle ascending. Victory is sure when you call on his name. Be strong, be strong, be strong in the Lord, and be of good courage, for he is your guide. Be strong, be strong, be strong in the Lord, and rejoice, for the victory is yours. So put on the armor the Lord has provided, and place your defense in his unfailing care. Trust him, for he will be with you in battle, lighting your path to avoid every snare. Be strong in the Lord and be of good courage. Your mighty commander will vanquish the foe. Fear not the battle, for the victory is always his. He will protect you wherever you go. Be strong, be strong, be strong in the Lord, and be of good courage, for he is your guide. Be strong, be strong, be strong in the Lord, and rejoice, for the victory is yours.
All right, thank you, David. Appreciate that very much. The true strength that we do have comes from God and his strength and so forth, and so appreciate that reminder this morning. We're in Ephesians chapter 5. Our young people can be dismissed to children's church, but I do want to send out one piece of warning, I guess. If you received the little white flower type thing when you came in, don't give them to your little children. They're poisonous. And don't eat them, by the way. They're not a snack. I'll try to be done. I'll try to be done before lunch, and so you don't have to snack on the flowers, but just a thing to keep in mind as we go through. I thought what I'd do this morning is something different. I look back at Mother's Day messages that I have done all the way back to 1982, and they all seem to have one theme, and the theme is to beat the daylights out of moms and tell them what they're supposed to be doing. And I thought, this morning I'm going to do something completely different. I'm going to beat the daylights out of husbands and tell them what they're supposed to be doing. And so instead of preaching to moms this morning, I'm going to preach for moms this morning and try to do something a little bit. And by the way, that's our gift to you, is we're going to be nice to you this morning instead of attacking you and picking on you. Proverbs 31 is the fearful and the dreaded chapter when it comes to women and godly women and so forth, because you look at this chapter and you go like, okay, who on the planet can do all these things that are listed in Proverbs 31? I thought I'd read for you a rendition. This is by Jane Sorensen. It's a rendition of the modern version of Proverbs 31, okay? If you identify with any of these things, feel free to say amen when I finish, all right? Who can find a suitable rural wife? For her worth is far above secretary or cleaning woman. The heart of her husband does safely trust in her, whether with eligible bachelor or high-pressure salesman. She accepts her husband as he is and hangs up his pajamas all the days of her life. She seeks new furniture, but settles for old and antiqueth it with her hands. She runneth not out of milk. She bringeth her food from afar, and always finds the best deals. She decorateth her home in the best of taste, but soweth not emphasis on materialism. Her family feeleth house can be lived in, yet suddenly becomes immaculate when the doorbell ringeth. She rises up also when the alarm goes off, and dresses, makes breakfast, packeth lunches, while family is still inserting contact lenses. She girdeth her arms with strength, and on Tuesday carrieth out the leaves and tree prunings to the street for disposal pickup. She cooketh ample meals, yet avoids for teenagers chocolate, nuts, chewy foods, raw celery, and for her husband high cholesterol. She forgetteth not to defrost the dinner. When wearing newly acquired goodwill dress and ancient coat, she looks like $1 million. She opens her mouth with wisdom, but knows when to keep it shut. She talketh seldom about trivia, and never during football games. She forgetteth not to make appointments for annual checkups, orthodontists, eye doctors, haircuts, and booster shots. She attends all meetings. She sings in the choir. She spendeth time to make friends with non-Christian neighbors. She cooks meals for the sick, teaches Sunday school class, but never becomes tired or cross, and looketh well to the ways of her own household. Her children never rise up to wonder if they will have clean underwear or socks. She becometh not obsolete as her husband becomes known in the gate, but even if his position rises not, she remains content. When husband spendeth week on business or hunting, she panics not. She moppeth the floors. She orders a new water heater. She maketh papier-mâché log cabins for son's history project. She consoleth daughter snubbed by her boyfriend. And when with family finally tucked into bed, she heareth the phone ring, reporting to her husband that everything is fine. She buyeth salt for the water softener, and gently remindeth her husband to bring it in. But the furnace filter she cleans herself. She knoweth not how to raise the hood of the automobile, but she haveth oil changed and shock absorbers checked and tires rotated. Give her a card on Mother's Day, and let her own works praise her in the gates. Many wives do a pretty fair job, but thou, modern mom, excelleth them all. Sometimes moms feel pressure and stress that somehow there's so many different things pulling from so many different directions. You feel sometimes they just don't measure up. I remember times when I shared this a few weeks ago with my Sunday school class, but I remember times when the kids were little, and I would come home and my wife would be crying, and I would say, my first thought is, what on earth did I do wrong? And she said, no, it's not you. And I'm like, And then it would be, okay, oh no, somebody must have died. And she said, no, no one died. Oh, one of the kids are hurt. No. Why are you crying? I just feel like it. And to a guy, it's like, that doesn't really register, okay? But sometimes for a woman, it does. I just feel like it. Sometimes feel like they don't measure up. Too many things on her plate. Job, husband, children, home, pets, food, diet, appearance, trying to make the whole family look good. I will say that usually guys, husbands, and children are not much help in this department because as far as making the family look good, the guys don't care, kids don't care. What makes a good mom? When she does everything exactly right, when she produces good kids. I remember a few years back, I asked the question of this audience, or similar audience to this, how many think your mom did a good job raising you? Almost every hand went up. And then I said, how many of you think your mom did a good job raising your brother and sister? Half the hands went down. Okay? Because mom did great with me, because look how well I turned out. But boy, she messed up with the others. There's no question about that. I've entitled this Myths of Motherhood, things that are just not so. But a good mom, we'll start with this, and this is obviously, this first part is tongue-in-cheek, but a good mom never bakes biscuits from cardboard tubes that go pow. Okay? A good mom appears instantly whenever any family member yells, "Mom!" A good mom knows exactly what garment each child wants to wear each and every school day. A good mom has the clothes washed, mended, and ready in the closet. A good mom is always home when you call, or she always picks up the phone when you call. A good mom uses coupons and online discounts to save at least $15 a week. A good mom never raises her voice. A good mom never yells. Oh boy. If you told me to describe my mom, and prior to my adulthood, yelling would have been the number one thing on the top of the list. Nagging is right behind it, a very, very close second. Yelling and nagging. So much so that when Brenda and I were just getting serious about being engaged and married, I told her that I only have two requirements: no yelling, no nagging. And she has done wonderfully on those departments. But the reason they're at the top of my list is because sometimes I would leave the house, go out in the yard, and just stand there and go. Some of my favorite hymns are still "Blessed Quietness, Holy Quietness." But it was my mom's specialty. And to be perfectly honest, though, we never thought she was serious until she started yelling. So some of that was our fault because that was part of the deal. Never raises her voice, never yells. A good mom never dreads teacher conferences. A good mom attends every t-ball, soccer, volleyball, and every sporting event. A good mom never leaves kids with runny noses in the church nursery. This is my favorite. A good mom never sends sick kids to school. Okay. When we give out perfect attendance at the end of the year for school attendance, it should go to the moms. Because and usually the kids that have perfect attendance are the worst behaved, because moms don't want them at home either. So, but a good mom never takes shortcuts on healthy food items for kids. They have a perfect nutritional lunch each and every day. A good mom keeps a regimented family schedule of daily tooth flossing and Bible memorization. And again, the pressure on mom and the strain on mom to do everything right. Somehow, if I don't do everything right, and if kids are messed up, somehow it's mom's fault in some way. We have things that pull against it. A magazine that says 4 easy steps to be a mom, and it's like, right. Or Billy's mom doesn't do it this way. I remember when we first moved to this area, and I can actually put a few names to some of these, but a farmer's wife would say something to this effect. She gets up at 5 o'clock, does her chores, and fix breakfast for everyone before they even get up. And there's women who go like, these women give all mothers a bad name. This is bad. Or the husband who says, well, this is not the way I was raised. That's not the way my mom did it. Okay. Not a good plan. Not a good plan. Well, this is completely free, but another good plan is saying you're just like your mother. That's not a good thing either. Don't say that. Don't say that either. Some more myths. Says mothering is easy. No job on earth takes more physical, mental, social, emotional, and spiritual strength than being a good mom and mother. Someone said, if you're looking for easy, if you're a woman who's looking for easy, try mixed martial arts and roller derby. That's easier than being a mom. Mothering is natural. Well, by nature, we are all self-centered. We all are pretty much selfish. We get tired. We get to a point where they need to make their own bed. They need to sew their own skirt. It won't hurt them to walk home from school. And there's no innate quality in us or in women that give them delight in cleaning diapers and vomit. I do remember very specifically, and most of you have had the same occasion, but I remember very, very specifically on one of our grandson's diaper issues, his mom bailed out of the room, and Grandma came to the rescue, and she bailed out of the room, okay? And so it's like, who volunteers for this stuff? Who wants to do this? It's just not part of the program. In 2 Timothy 3, it talks about at the end times, people will be without natural affection. And again, it is natural to love your children and to love your parents. But more and more, we live in a very, very selfish world, so it's not easy to do this. Mothering is always fun. That's another myth. Homework and cooped up in the house all day. If it was fun, why aren't people standing in line to give you a help and a break? And I do remember this, and this is, you can think what you want of me. We had 3 children, 2 years apart, and at one particular point, all 3 were taking piano lessons. And so they would come home from school. School would end about 3:30, and I would calculate in my mind, they're going to come home and they're going to do homework, piano lessons. Mom's working with meal prep because she taught all day as well. She's working on meal prep and cleaning the rooms and so forth. I would call home, and if I heard the piano in the background, I would ask which child it was. Was this 1, 2, or 3? How close are we to having these piano lessons over with? Okay? And I would time it so that, I just happened to get home when all the homework's done, all the piano lessons are over, supper's ready, Daddy walks in the door, and it's like, Daddy's home, and it's fun time now. Occasionally, my wife would let me know that that's not good timing. Daddy comes home, and it's all fun. Well, Proverbs 31, what it's saying is the woman, a good woman, a godly woman, a virtuous woman is trustworthy. She's reliable. She's morally sound. She's industrious and hardworking. She's generous and unselfish. She's wise and thoughtful. She's strong and stable. She's compassionate and warm. She's dignified and poised. And she wants to please God with her life. Ephesians chapter 5, verse number 25. Husbands, love your wives, even as Christ also loved the church and gave himself for it. What are husbands, what are dads to do to help and assist their wives in this daunting project called motherhood? I believe first thing a dad needs to do, or a husband needs to do, is serve his wife. Jesus with his disciples, Jesus was in charge, but he served his disciples. He washed their feet. He served them. Even though I live at a time when my father, when I think of my father, everything was in the garage, everything was outdoors. He ran a vac, but it was called a shop vac. It wasn't a house vac. I don't remember Dad ever doing the dishes unless he made the mess. But the idea of vacuuming and cleaning the table and babysitting and fixing your wife breakfast or holding the door, showing respect, make sure she's served first, and even putting your wife before children or even guests. Serve your wife. I've shared the story with you before, but on one occasion, the other two children were gone. Chad was the only one left in the house, so he's either 11th grade or 12th grade. He's actually laid in bed with Mom, and they're watching TV together. And I brought in to my wife this ginormous dish of ice cream, which she loves very, very much. Set it on her lap, gave her a spoon, and my son said, "Where's mine?" And I said, "It's in the freezer." It's in the freezer. Serving your wife. Leadership is service. Ministry is service. You need to serve your wife. You need to show appreciation for your wife. The simple word is thanks. Thanks for a tidy home. Thanks for the meal. Thanks for the time you spend with the kids. Thanks for doing the laundry. Thanks for the children that we have. And the idea of thanks and appreciation is constant, not just on Mother's Day. The Romans verse here, Romans 12:10, I think, be kindly affectionate one to another with brotherly love and honor, preferring one another. This is how we're supposed to treat each other. This is how we should treat our wife. In honor, preferring one another. They put in the other person first. And let your children hear you say it. And would not hurt to even sit down with your children and say, we are so lucky to have a mom like we do. We are so lucky because she does this and she does that. And Mom needs to see that her efforts are noticed and are appreciated. Surprise her. Do something different. Don't let her life be boring. A supper date, a trip somewhere, a plant, piece of jewelry. Just go the extra mile. Be creative. Just to let her know I'm thinking of you. Mine used to be when I was out and about running hospital errands and things of that nature. We would stop by Dairy Queen. I would get her a Butterfinger Blizzard. By the time it got home, it was 30 minutes melted, and it was still worked. It was still good, because it's like he's away from home, but he's thinking of me. And I've shared with you before, my dad on one occasion, we're sitting at the table finishing supper, and he said, I tell you what we're going to do right after supper. The whole family's going to go out, and we're going to play volleyball out in the yard. And my mom's like, well, no, I've got to do this. I got to clean this up, and I got to do the dishes. And she's fussing around, and the kids were all out on the volleyball court. And out comes my dad with my mom over his shoulder. He picks her up, carries her out to the volleyball court, plants her down. The whole time she's going, put me down, loving every second. Loving every second. Doing something different, just, and this one, I know this is going to hurt, but turn off the football game. Turn off the baseball game. To talk to your wife, to spend time with her wife, do something with her. I know that hurts, but surprise her by doing something different. And the reason I say it's different because it's not going to happen very often. So remember special occasions, birthdays, Valentine's Day, anniversaries. We cannot all be fortunate, and as Bill Holman cheated in this particular category. Bill and Mary Holman were married on Valentine's Day. That's cheating, okay? That's cheating, okay? And so, number one, he can't forget his anniversary. He can't forget Valentine's. It's cheating, okay? Remembering special occasions, we have August 23rd, 1974, is the day I proposed to my wife. And it's not our anniversary, it's not our wedding date or anything of that nature, but it's the day I proposed. On our children's birthday, my wife gets three yellow roses on our children's birthday. They get nothing. Kids get nothing. But she loves yellow roses. We have 3 kids, so every time my kid has a birthday, I can't afford for all the grandkids, so we just still get the children. And this year too, we did something a little bit different, and I maybe we're late to the game on this one, but I thought about it from the standpoint of Brenda's mom has passed away, my mom has passed, and we always got flowers for them on Mother's Day. This year we got flowers for our daughters-in-law and my daughter, so we send flowers to the mothers of our grandchildren, so we did it that particular direction. If it's special to her, it should be special to you. Demonstrate feelings through little things. Don't assume just because I bring home a paycheck, that's enough. She knows I love her because I'm providing for her, I'm taking care of her, I'm working all these extra hours. Do little things. A musical playlist, if your wife likes music. I put together, and some of these things are corny, some of these, and my wife has reacted that way. There's many, many times that I have tried to be romantic, and she just kind of shakes her head and goes, "Oh, brother." They fail miserably, but sometimes it's still the thought that counts sometimes. Making a playlist. I made her a playlist one time that says songs that remind me of you, and it was hard to narrow it down. There was so many. A hug in the kitchen. Even if the kids go, ugh, okay. I don't think there's anything wrong with hugging and kissing your wife in front of your children. I think they need to see that. I think they need to be encouraged that mom actually does like dad. Dad actually likes mom. They're going to be together for a while. Ask advice of your wife. You don't have to take it, but ask advice of your wife. Tell her, I love you. Phone calls, I'm thinking of you. You're still the one. Neck massage, back rub, whatever she likes, whatever she cares for. Candlelight meal. Something, demonstrate feelings through little things. Don't have to spend $1 zillion to do it. Just do something special and something different. Affirm your relationship with her. Sit with her. I did get myself in trouble one time. We had the gentleman who played the piano for us down in Florida. He would play. The piano was on this side of the auditorium. He would play the piano, and then he would sit here. And usually his wife was there, and he would go and sit right next to his wife. But on this occasion, she was like way over there somewhere. And I commented about, "Oh, you guys fighting?" They were. So sometimes that wasn't funny. So sit with her, open the door for her, seat her at the table, hold her coat, hold her hand, hug her, introduce her to friends. A lot of times I see folks people are talking and, oh, by the way, this is my wife. And it's like, really? Okay. It should be like the first thing on the top of the list. Notice her, just a little note. Don't take her for granted. If she does something with her hair or dress, notice, compliment, and again, lie if you have to. Still one of my favorite commercials of all time is I don't even know what the commercial was for, but it was Abraham Lincoln, who cannot tell a lie, and his wife puts on this new dress, and she said, "Does this dress make me look fat?" And he stood there and went, never answered the question, but sort of. But notice, if she goes to the trouble, notice. Affirm your relationship with her. Be alone with her, especially if you have small children. She's looking for some adult to speak to. And by the way, if she doesn't talk to you, she'll talk to herself, and self-talk is not good. And so let her talk to you. Let her speak to you. She's looking, confide in her. She knows your heart. She knows things that nobody else knows. Allow her to share with you, knowing this information is safe. Let her know that she's your best friend. Adapt or adopt to things that she likes to do. And again, this is another one, fake it if you have to. But shopping is one of those things where, sometimes you'll come up with the guy likes to shop and the woman doesn't, but shopping is one of those things that guys are worn out at the first store. They're just completely wiped out to the point where she says, you know what, I'm going to do this without you, or you go sit in the car, But try to enjoy the things she enjoys. Going out to eat, her favorite restaurant, my wife's favorite is Mexican. It's like 12 on my list of favorites. But it's one for her. And so we have Mexican. The opera, I don't know. I really thought about not putting this here because I might draw the line at this one. But grandkid events, plays and dramas, and the things we watch on TV. You're not the one totally in charge of the remote all the time. We watch Dr. Poole and National Geographic, animal shows and so forth, yard sales, discount stores. Do what she likes. Adopt things that she enjoys doing. Be generous towards her. Go the extra mile. This one time you can do something different, a vacation, a getaway. She's worth it. Sometimes bite the bullet to do it. One of the lessons that I have learned over the past few years with the situation we find ourselves in is as I think about this, the care that needs to be given, I think about the fact that I owe her everything. Everything. I could not be a pastor if she didn't want me to be. Imagine a pastor's wife being uncooperative in that endeavor. I could not be who I am without her. We don't have 3 children. We don't have 10 grandchildren. Everything I have, everything that I hold dear to me is because of her. And so how do you pay that back? Just be generous towards her. Be generous. Renew your vows. Don't wait for 25th anniversary or 50th anniversary. Every wedding you attend, and by the way, that would be one of the sacrifices, attend a wedding with your wife. And basically tell her, I would marry you again. If I had to do this all over, I'm so glad you said yes. I'm so glad you're still here. I said to my wife, I said, honey, I love you. And she said, I know. That's probably one of the best responses I've ever received, as opposed to I love you too. She says, I know. Lou Murray is the one who basically, and you've heard me say this before, but he sort of set the bar on this renew your vows stuff. When Lou Murray's second wife, May, they had been married 20-some years, 25 years, I think, something like that. When she passed away, the report was that in the hospital room, when she's passing away in front of all the nurses, he held her hand and he renewed his wedding vows to his wife. I was made aware of that information and I shared it at his funeral. And one of the children, one of May's children, said, oh, I have to correct you, Pastor. He said his vows to his wife every single day. So I don't like Lou Murray very much. He set the bar too high. It's that woman that gets up at 5 o'clock in the morning cooking bread. The same thing. But renew your, let her know that I would do this again. Make home pleasant. Glad to be here. Something else that should cross your mind somewhere along the lines, the children are extremely important to your wife. You know, if you spend time with your own children, that pleases her and makes her happy as well. The fact that you enjoy being home, you enjoy being the children, this is what's most special to her, and you spend time with your kids. Your wife is also a reflection of you. If she's tired and she's worried and she's worn out and she's frazzled, it appears that you don't care for her very much. And so it's kind of a reflection on you. You need to help bear the burden. You need to have part of this as well. Now, I know some of you are going to totally rebel against this next concept, but sing to her. And she might ask you not to. And it sounds corny, but it's the idea of being happy in her presence. I enjoy being with you. Whistle, hum, I don't care. It's nice to be with you. I enjoy being in your presence. Ecclesiastes here, there's a verse that says, live joyfully with the wife whom thou lovest all the days of thy life, of thy vanity, which he hath given thee under the sun, all the days of thy vanity, for that is thy portion in this life, and thy labor which thou takest under the sun. There's a lot of different things that go behind this particular verse, but Ecclesiastes is a book about life under the sun, and most things under the sun are vanity or worthless. But he says one thing you can take advantage of as far as life under the sun is to live joyfully with your wife. Have joy in your home and in your family. And I've been doing paraphrases lately, so I took a lot of liberty with this very next one. Psalm 101 and 2. Make a joyful noise in your house, all ye husbands. Serve the wife with gladness. Come before her presence with singing. Just a little latitude there on that one. But the idea of enjoy being with her. Make her feel secure. You do that by being there. Hold her. Trust. Make sure she trusts you. There's no substitute for trust. I'm not going anywhere. My wife's favorite song, and I'm not sure anybody in this room would know it, but my wife's favorite song is I Will Be Here. And it's a song about no matter what happens, it's a man singing to his wife and said, I will be here. No matter what happens, I will be here. And so the idea, I've told you before, when I'm all by myself, I'm a coward. But I'm brave when my wife and kids are present. I don't know how to explain that to you exactly, but if there's noise, if there's noise outside, well, first of all, if every light in the house is on, then I'm home alone, okay? And if I hear a noise outside, I go into a room and I lock all the doors and I pray. If my wife and children are there and there's a noise outside, I'm going to go out and check. I will check for them, and I will act and pretend brave. I will not check just to protect myself. That's ridiculous. And so, but make her feel safe. Make her feel secure. Somebody that she can trust. Esteem her welfare more important than your own. And again, the idea is to be a servant. You know, one of the ways I believe to keep marriages together is to esteem the other person better than yourself. If you ask me the number one thing that causes divorce, it would be lack of consideration. I mean, there's other people will be a lot more scientific and specific than that, but mine is I just think lack of consideration is the number one cause of divorce. Esteem the other person better. Their happiness is more important than yours. Well, children. I'm not going to leave you guys off the hook either. Children. How can children make things easier? Well, Proverbs 1:8 says, my son, hear the instruction of thy father. Forsake not the law of thy mother. Next one as well. The Proverbs of Solomon. A wise son makes a glad father, but a foolish son is the heaviness of his mother. Do you love your parents? Well, then obey them. Then live a life that's pleasing in God's sight. And it always matters regardless of your age. If your mom and dad are still alive, I don't even care how old you are in this room, if your mom and or dad are still alive, how you live your life, how you act, how you conduct yourself, it either brings them joy or heaviness. You say, well, I'm 50 years old. I don't care how old you are. My children are all in their 40s, and it matters to me every single day the choices that they make. You love your parents, then obey them. Live a life that's pleasing in God's sight. Proverbs chapter 23, I believe, yes. Proverbs 23, hearken unto thy father that begot thee. Despise not thy mother when she is old. Buy the truth and sell it not. Also wisdom and instruction and understanding. The father of the righteous shall greatly rejoice, and he that begetteth a wise child shall have joy of him. Thy father and thy mother shall be glad, and she that bare thee shall rejoice. One of my favorite verses is in 3 John, which says, I rejoice to hear that my children walk in the truth. I've used it many times to refer to young people that I've taught. I rejoice to hear that they're walking in the truth. But it's family-wise. Children, despise not. The word despise means I couldn't care less what mom and dad has to say. That's a bad move. That's a bad plan. Sell it not. Listen, heed, praise. Children are to respect their mom and dad. They're to honor them. They're to be thankful. They're to obey them. They're to heed. I do believe with all my heart, again, going back to moms for just a minute, but if there is great consequence for leading children astray, and there is, then there must be a great reward for leading children to the truth. And one of the things that dawned on me as I kind of wrapped this up and as I was thinking of these different things, your life that you live as a child, for a long time it's like take. Now moms don't see it that way and dads don't see it that way because it's just, I'm just glad you're my son, I'm just glad you're my daughter. But they're doing and providing. If you want to give them joy, then you conduct your life in a way that's pleasing in God's sight, and it will bring joy and gladness to their heart. And I thought as my mom has passed away, this thought came to my mind. Next one, please. Did my life and the lives of my sister and brother bring joy to my mom? I think that's the best thing a child can do for a parent, is to live their life in a way that's pleasing in God's sight, to heed, to listen, to respond. And sometimes even if mom and dad aren't believers, bring joy to the heart by doing what is right in God's sight. So, moms, thank you for all you do. Husbands, help more, do more. Kids, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. Father, thank you for the opportunity to look at your word this morning. Thank you for these thoughts in regards to moms and what we can do to help them and assist them and encourage them and support them. So many times there's so many things, so much. It becomes overwhelming. May we help. May we assist. May we support. May we love. May we do what is right in your sight. Father, I pray for families and homes and relationships, that you would heal, that people would ask for forgiveness, and people would grant forgiveness, and that we would love as you have loved us. And we pray this in Jesus' name.